Hi there, Kristen. I am going to give you feedback on your um, course design so far with this screencast. And I know that you have had, um, some issues with completing the work. Nevertheless, I'm going to give you feedback to date so that you can continue to refine your course design and continue to participate in the activities of the course as much as you are able. Um, Overall, I see lots and lots of improvement in the refinement of this course, and I'm very pleased with your progress. Um, I, in the at first glance, one of the first things that I'd like to see is your name at the top here, so that whoever enters can see who this course is facilitated by, and maybe something like Welcome to Building a Hybrid Online uh, RN to BSN course, and then dash your name, so that it's more clear and more visible what the course is and who is teaching it. And I know that it's up here, but it kind of fades into the background, and I see it here too, and this is supposed to be a short name, which you can fix in your settings. Anyway, so you can use this space here to make announcements, which I hope that you will do, and kind of make use of that topic outline to really put front and center information for the participants in your course. I love, how you have refined many of the course information documents. Again, to personalize this, I would sign this document so that it's clear who the facilitator is of the course. And if it's co-facilitated, then jointly sign it. I did notice some. I know you're going to have your bios here, or your little intros there. There was something I wanted to point out to you. I like how you are. Your voice is very good, and how you are presenting things you have been refining. I want to make sure that you come back to these course information documents and update them, because you have made some significant changes to your content, and you want to make sure that everything that you have in your course info documents matches up as you refine the course itself. And so your icebreakers, I think, are something that you've gotten rid of, or at least the label, you've gotten rid of it. I love your calendar. Beautiful, beautiful calendar. The months, that are kind of hard to see, and you could make that white text, or some other color, lighter, maybe gray or something, so that it's more visible. But it's just really well thought out, and just very nice to see. I'm not sure if you tell them to print it anywhere on it, and so that would be a good idea if on that actual document you tell them, print this out, like in red or something very visible. I know you say it here. Maybe you want to highlight that or something, but just make sure that they understand that you'd like them to print that out, and put it on the fridge. I think I remember hearing you say that somewhere. Everything looks good. It looks like you are thinking about these blocks and having these be functional areas. So somehow you're going to list the blogs here. Somehow these are going to be communities, and so it would be really, and these are the tutorials for the faculty. It'd be nice to see those functioning, and where they would take you. Is this going to a discussion forum or to some external site, and how does it work, and what is the expectation for interaction in it, and what is relevant to the students in this course? Are all of these relevant to them? Are these instructors in your course, or are these facilitators? Or are these exemplar faculty? And so it would be nice to be able to see these so that I could give you better feedback. And the same with the tutorials. I just don't know exactly, what that's about. So I would get rid of this latest news block. It goes with the news forum, and it looks to me like you've eliminated that news forum, which is good because it actually doesn't function well. So just get rid of this. I would move people up to a higher real estate where it's more visible. I would put it up here above your community. I would also add people online and messages and put them all up top. They don't take up too much room, and those are the things that when you enter the course, you first want to see who else is online and if you have any messages. So I would really consider that and think about it. I'm wondering what you're going to use as an ice-breaking activity here, and what this distance education video is all about. I love how you labeled things and how you've indented them and made use of heads and subheads. It looks beautiful, consistent. Your instructional design background is shining here. Very linear, very sequential, very orderly. Easy to read, easy to understand, and kind of parse the information. And I love how it's sequential in terms of activities, and linear, taking advantage or into account how Moodle works. So I love your tone. You're talking to people, individuals, and you're giving them explanations. This document, I would put at the top, print this out so that they can. It's a rather long document, and I know you had some concerns about the length of some of your documents, but it's okay if it's longer if you tell them, to print it out in advance. I love how you're talking about different ways of learning, and you're giving them food for thought. I mean, all of this to me feels very comfortable and, not threatening, and supportive and helpful. And I have confidence in you that you are going to be able to, if I was a student in this course, an instructor taking your course, I would feel confidence in you. I'm going to go through each of the documents here a little bit, and you're telling people how much time they should expect to complete the activities. I think that's nice and respectful of their time. And then you can check at the end to see how accurate you were, unless you've done this before and but you want to, kind of do a check-in with them to see if in fact that is how long it took them. I love that you're having exemplar courses, and I wish that I could see some of these exemplars, and you could link to the calendar here. I'd like to see a link to the rubric here, and I want to know and understand, how you are going to, what is it that you want them to get out of this activity, and how are you gauging that? And I know you have your were you successful area, but I would want that explained up here a little bit more. I love, 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 love how you are doing different types of discussions in each of your modules to model them for the faculty. I think that's a fabulous idea. And you're having them do a learner or a student-led discussion first. Um, so I'm not, I think it's an interesting idea to do the learner-led discussion first. And I'm wondering if what you think will happen is that they will have questions about process or questions about the concerns they have in terms of doing this activity, and if that's the case, getting out all their issues, I think it's an excellent way to approach this learner-led discussion, and at the same time have them be able to speak and be heard about their issues and concerns so that they can move forward in the process. Um, Writing the course development blueprint, I wish I could see a copy of that blueprint so that I could understand what you're asking them to fill out. And then I'm wondering if this shouldn't be a separate document and how you're actually facilitating blogging in this course. Like, are they creating external blogs, or are you using the internal Moodle blog feature? You know, how exactly are you doing that? And I don't quite understand it, because it sort of seems, at least write a welcome note to your students welcoming them to this course. Are you using that as a place for them to kind of draft materials, and then they'll take that and copy it and put it elsewhere? Or is that actually where the students will see this stuff? So I'm not entirely clear how that activity works, and I'm not sure how well the blogging is explained, and I'm thinking maybe it merits its own sort of instructional document. The Were You Successful thing is interesting. You know, I did an attempt to see what you were asking, and I'm wondering if sort of contractually you have to get them to say whether or not they actually did these different activities, because I might phrase things a little bit differently, because, you know, when you ask someone whether they did something or not, they can say yes. But it doesn't mean that they did, and it gives you no insight into their thinking and their learning. So, you know, I might rephrase some of these questions and say, you know, ask the question, how will you use, you know, what you learned from the exemplar faculty to inform you know, a design decision in my own course, or in your own course. So I would actually make them articulate that, so that if they haven't done it, they will have to in order to answer the question. And I would do that with each of these, you know, and maybe make it specific. What's one thing you will use out of the Getting Started tutorial that will inform, you know, a decision in your course? And so make it not something, you know, kind of pat and superficial, and make it actually be something they have to think about and do some application and synthesis and analysis and, you know, sort of adaptation to their own context. It's just a much more authentic assessment then. Okay, you're going to do face-to-face. So I love that this is a blended course, and it feels, you know, your refinements are, it's getting better and better. And so I love how this is looking. I don't understand the feedback zone yet. I don't know if this is where you're going to give people feedback and how you're actually going to do that, or if this is like an ask a question area. Like, where do they ask questions if they have a question? How do they ask a question, and where are those sort of like kept? What else? You know, one of the things I wanted to mention to you was that it's still very focused on the technology rather than the pedagogy, and I really I really would try to frame things. I know you probably don't want to hear this, but I really would try to frame things pedagogically rather than technically. And so you would get to how to build the modules or how to build the orientation documents for the course. Well, I'm running out of time. I better stop.